Good afternoon and welcome to Profile on Mount Cameron FM. On Profile, we take a biographical sketch of a personality and we serve this as inspiration for the young people listening to the radio. Profile on Mount Cameron FM, the producer, Nathan Kaweb, coordination, Leona Chatelain. I'm your host, David Mbua Evelekul.
I am Al-Hajj Imam Mohamed ABOUBAKAR. I am the personality on Profile, CRTV Mount Cameron FM.
You're from a Christian background, Presbyterian?
Yes.
How did this switch come about and how did your parents take this?
I was invited to do some work with we call them the Malam, to clear his plantain farm. At night, it was late for me to go back. This is from where to Cook. It's about 8 kilometers. So then it was too late for me to go back. I was very young, age of 11, 12. At night, I heard the children reciting the Quran. You know, when we read, they read aloud. In the morning, I got up and told him, please, if you permit me, I would like to do these Quranic studies. He said, no, it's not possible. That's how I came in contact. And I insisted and said, if they didn't, I won't even go to school. So I was given the opportunity to study immediately I finished my first school. I was given the opportunity to study the Quran for 2 years before continuing my school.
Now, when you told your father or your parents, how did they take this?
My father outrightly rejected it and said, over his dead body, that I will leave the religion in which I was born. And he's been a Presbyterian from birth. And my mother is being a Presbyterian from birth. They don't see how I'm going to bring some. They called it a new thing. And I told them, well, it could be new to you, but I think some new things are things which can bring changes to the family. Allow me do it. And of course, I've never disobeyed you. In this case, I think I would disobey you if you don't allow me to do it willingly. My father, first of all, gave in. But in the long run, my uncle came in and said, no. Don't allow the child. If you do that, the man is too young. They will take him to Nigeria. He will be sold there. You will never see him. My father became more scared and said, this is getting out of hand. And when there was that insistence, I told my mother that, if I want to disobey you, I will go to extremes. Please allow me to do it. If you find that I am becoming different, then you can withdraw me. My mother called me quietly and said, I know you to be a child who is respectful. If you know that this is coming from you and nobody is influencing you, then do it. But please be careful. I told her, of course, the person I informed him that I wanted to become a Muslim, he even refused. He's coming to meet you people to take your permission. And so that's how the person came and met him. He's of late, Malan Shefu. May God have mercy on his soul. He informed my mother and she accepted and said, well, but we're handing you the child, is still very young. Please take care of him and we want to see him quite often. He should visit us frequently. That's how I became Muslim. And from that day, I met elderly persons who were reading the Quran. I bet you I was given an exceptional, vivid comprehension of the Quran. 2 years I had finished the Quran. They had to invite most people to come and see. So they have seen what they had not witnessed before. A child who took Islam today, he is teaching others who were in Islam for a very long time. So my Malam was very proud of me. And that was one reason why he decided I should further my studies in Nigeria. But it couldn't work out as God planned. But there was a better plan for me, I'm sure.
Okay, you became a Muslim in the Northwest region, and it's been a long road for you. And today, you are not only a Muslim faithful, but you are the Imam this time in the Southwest region.
I want to first of all give gratitude to God for guiding me to see this man who guided me to the path of Islam. When we finished the Quran And as I failed, I came back. I moved to Bamenda and was there for about a month. The life was different. I saw things very differently. I was not exposed to noise. You know, I had lived a very sensitive life. I wasn't exposed to noise. I found that it was difficult for me to stay in Bamenda. After I came back, I moved down to Limbe. Limbe was worse than what I thought. That's how I moved back to Buea. And we had a sister. The husband worked with the CDC. It was the Toreti estate. They insisted that I must go back to school and I should do formal. I said, no, what I have is already enough for me to to do whatever I need to do. It's okay with me. The lifestyle and the feeding habit was a bit different. They thought that maybe if I stayed longer there, I might die. So they sent news to my parents and said, this child can die here, so please you come and invite him to come back. I said, he didn't send me here, I came. So if you are tired of living with me, let me go my way. And she asked me if I had any problem staying there. I said, no, I had no problem. 2 years later, something more serious happened. Pate is of late. He was a former director of P&T school. He asked an old man in Tole he would need to have a boy who would stay with him and assist him because he didn't have his family. So that's how I got to stay with Pate. Discovered that he was doing repairs, repairing televisions. Then TVs were not in the country. It was early days. The only people who had televisions from abroad. We didn't have even a TV station. I told him I would like to do it because he said he was going to put me on a salary. I said, no, I don't have need for money. You give me money, I will not use it. So let me study. He said, no, he will send me to school. I should go to a formal school. Maybe he should go down to... I said, no, it's okay. I want to do this job. I stayed with him for 3 years, and behold, I was a full-fledged electronic repairer, maintenance. Whilst with Pate, something happened, you know, being naive, young people, he gave instructions that we should not open any equipment if he wasn't at home because they were very delicate. You know, we want to try and experiment things. Somebody bought the TV, we open it, and the tube was broken. He felt so bad, and he sent us out of the house. Then that was in GRA. At night, we didn't know where to go to. Pamunanga, who is here, he would be very surprised to hear that the bed he gave me, the first bed he gave me, I'm still keeping it for posterity. Incidentally, his television was bad. That same day, he invited me. When I told him, I came in the morning and told him we slept outside, so I won't be able to continue the job because I don't have where to repair it. He said, wow. So the first money he paid me, actually, that's the money I used in buying my first multimeter, test meter. Pamunanga, he gave me a bed, this mono bed. I carried it and I was so happy. He now told his friend, Pa Elali Mukake, that give them a room. He offered us a room for 5 months without rent. We were not paying. During this time, I could move to Douala and get spare parts, doing repairs. And one of such journeys landed me into an Indian company. When I asked for a transistor, gave a professional description of a transistor. The man asked, do you know anything about repairs? I said, yes, of course. I thought you were just buying as a clear. I said, no, I'm a technician. I said, can you do repairs? I said, yes, I have an idea. They said they've had difficulty in repairing a Samsung television. That was during this period. This was when they had the World Cup. So there were a lot of televisions which were imported, a lot of containers. That company used to be called Greenwich. The man said if I could repair 1 or 2 TVs, we'll see how to manage the rest of the containers that are coming in. And behold, 2 minutes I came back and told him he should put it on. And the TV was working. It was a miracle. So I automatically gained access to that company. I worked there for 2 years and had another big challenge because they didn't pay me. My money was accumulated close to about 2 million. I had to go to Singapore for perfection, to come back and to head the division of mounting of television, Samsung televisions. But, you know, life being what it is, the man disappointed me and didn't even pay the money. The crisis, also revaluation came in. So the company was closed, shut down. That's how I came back to Buea and continued my repairs. And during this time, I could establish, I had opened up my place. I moved from Bukango and went down to Class Quarter because I had some small money. I was in class quarter, opened up a shop. For those who know, they know that there was a repairer in class quarter who was very good. The technicians could also testify that. And from class quarter, that is just by the equipment, then we moved further down to Guinness Street when I saw that the place was too small, so I had a bigger shop. I moved from there, went down to Great Chapel, opposite the OIC, and there was a container there. I worked there for 1 year or thereabout. Then another very big shock came on when we had the road maintenance, when the roads of Boya were to be broken. So we moved out from there. This is where I had it very hard, tough, very tough. I moved and came back to the house. I was at home. One of the customers who had difficulties carrying the TV set to bring to Boya Town right inside the quarter above Mount Mary. He discovered that it was not easy and said, I have one room at Bonduma. Can you come put up something here? I said, well, of course I can. So that's how I started working there. And during this time, since I've been doing his repairs for him, he contacted me. He had put up this building that he intended doing a business, an electronic business. So he would like me to head that division because the television he carried to Sharp, it was a Sharp television, 26 inches. He carried to Douala. They were not able to repair it. I repaired it. So he has developed love for me. So I should come and head that division, the electronic department.
When he was thrown in the well, or locked in the dungeon, betrayed by his own flesh and blood, convicted of what he did not, handsome Yusuf sighed, Allah is enough for me. Handsome Yusuf sighed, Allah is enough for me. Taken in as a slave, made to work night and day, resisting all temptation, Allah is enough for me. Until the king had a dream, many hard years had gone by, patience and repentance, Allah is enough for me. Till the fortunate day, there he sees his father in the land of content. Allah is enough for me. Handsome Yusuf cried, Allah is enough for me.
Let's talk about how you became Imam of Boya.
Yes. During this time when I was living with Pate, the mosque in town was not, we didn't celebrate the Friday prayers. We will go down to Tiko and pray and come back. One of these journeys, we lost somebody in town, and the then Imam, that was Alhaji Mahmoud Asabga. Each time I would come to sit around, they read the Quran. I recited so well. The Imam was shocked. He said, oh, we have a knowledgeable person like this around us. Let us use him in most of our activities. So that's how he called me, and we got integrated into the community. I met other persons who were his assistants, but with the knowledge I had, they were not able to compete with me. So when he moved eventually back to Bamenda, he had difficulties living here. Without a profession, it's very difficult to run the office of Imam out of your regular region. It will be very difficult because they don't receive a salary. Imams are not paid. The chief of the community, that's Mbua Sule, this time too, he also came in from the north. He has stayed out for several years. The same year he came in, that was when the brother died. The senior brother who was the chief of the Muslim community in Boya. He was a marine officer. He stayed but in Douala. So when Alhaji Mahmouda Sabga moved away from Boya, we had an elderly man, Madam Baba, who was in Munya, who could assist us in doing the congregational prayers. He would come from Munya and do it. One Friday, we were there waiting. They were waiting. They didn't see the Imam was not coming. The chief took the book of the sermon, rushed to my place. Then I was living at the new layout, met me and said, please prepare. And if you are able to read this sermon, come and pray for us. so that we make arrangement to know exactly the whereabouts of Mahmoud Asabga. So I did that, and the congregation immediately said they don't need any other imam. This is the imam. He's been here with us. We didn't know that we had somebody who assist us. So, and that's how I became the Imam of Buya. We wrote to Mahmoud Asabga, and he came. I invited him to during my installation, my coronation, and all the imams of the Southwest were here, and that is how I became the Imam of Buya. That was, this time we're talking about 1997. I think I should be one of the oldest imams in the region now. I am Al-Hajj Imam Mohamed ABOUBAKAR. I am the personality on profile CRTV Mount Cameroon FM.
Where were you born, and how was life back then?
I was born in Way, where it's found in Menchum Division. Now it is the Fungom subdivision. My father, Nju Dibonde, that name, I hope he got it from the Southwest here. He worked with the CDC, and it would appear he got the name from here. And my mother, Christina Nju. From birth, I was a Christian. I attended Presbyterian Primary School Way. From the 4th class, I was promoted to class 5, and I moved to Womb, where I passed 2 years with my elder brother, who is of late. Then I attended the St. Anthony Catholic School in Womb. The last year, the 7th year, I came back to Way and completed my primary school in the Presbyterian Primary School. Well, my father is a monogamist. He was married to my mother. He died having only my mother. We were 9 of us. I am the 3rd from up. 3 have died, well, the remaining 6 of us. I'm left with 2 brothers, with 3 sisters.
Let's go back to your primary school days, some of the difficulties you faced back then in primary school.
Yes, you know that especially during our days, the school fee was that cheap. We paid, in fact, it was 600 francs, 1,000 francs for the school fee. But it was not easy raising this amount of money. I could work and support my schooling. For example, I could pay part of my school fee. I used to move from Way to Womb. It's about 8 kilometers or thereabout. Buy bread. This, they call them blockade. Now I see it's quite different. I will buy bread for about 400 francs, and the profit on it is, I will be having about 30 francs. So when I do that twice in a week, I'm sure to have a profit of about 60 francs. And the 60 francs, this is what I will use sometimes in the family, and I give my mother support her in grinding corn. The grinding meal will pay 10 francs, and you have about 3 buckets of corn meal. And so it was quite very difficult on my part. I could go around and do clearing, odd jobs to buy my school needs. Thank God God gave me a very sharp brain, and I excelled so well in school. I was always among the first 5 from the class 3 up to class 7, and I did so well. Even with the religious studies that I had during the primary school, I vividly remember a Reverend Rim, who was in Way as the main pastor of that Presbyterian church. I also assisted him in doing some house chores, cleaning of his yard, and a day was 40 francs. It's very tedious, from 8 to 4 p.m. We had break for 30 minutes. When he would go in to rest, that's when we would also sit up to go around and get something to eat. And so it continued, especially during holiday periods, when we were able to make about sometimes 500 francs through the holiday. And it will be the 500 francs I will use as my main capital to do my small business. And when some of my friends saw that it was paying off, because we were very big boys. To have 500 francs, it was a lot of money. So we will generally live like senior persons. So one of my friends also bought the idea and said, "But look, come to think of it. I mean, if I prepared some this cow skin, the kanda, then you are selling the bread. It will make a good business. And that's how my sales moved from 500 to the capital was now doubled to 1,000 francs. Before I left school, finally, the last year, I was in a capital of about 5,000 francs. That was quite enormous. That was a lot of money. But then, the biggest challenge I had in life was that it rained so heavily one day, I lost almost everything. The bread was soaked and I was not able to sell it. So came back and cried. So previously my mother said, no, don't worry, things will get back. And with the courage she gave me, I was able to go around again and do some work and pick up from the broken pieces. And that was the last year in the primary section where we had to write to register for my first school and the common entrance. I managed to register for the common entrance, but the first school, it was not possible. So I had to go do some work. And it's from that work that the inspiration of becoming a Muslim was born.
After primary school, did you go further in your education?
Yes, I moved to the secondary school in Womb. This was through very hard work. The first 3 years I managed, it was very difficult. In fact, I left from the secondary school from 3 and came back to make it years later, the ordinary level and eventually my advanced level. I actually did the evening classes, then got books from friends who were regularly attending school. These are stories which sometimes when I recall them, I feel very proud because it gave me a lot of courage and stamina, and to be the person I am today, I'll be proud to be sure that I know I build my future with the help of God. God helped me, guided me, and with the courage of my mother and my father, who had nothing, I was able to make it in life, and I moved from my early days. I am Al-Hajj Imam MOHAMED ABOUBAKAR. I am the personality on profile, CRT Mount Cameroon FM.
We know you're also known as Al-Hajj, this title.
Yes, it is very important. I think I appreciate this question because a lot of people think that being an Al-Hajj means you have attained another life in the spirituality history of Islam. No, the title Al-Hajj is just like what we commonly call here Mujili, a visitor. When you go for Hajj to Saudi Arabia, those who are visiting, who have gone there for Hajj, they call them Al-Hajj, to be able to differentiate. They are now going on pilgrimage. Those who are there, they are visitors, they are on pilgrimage, we call them Al-Hajj. And so the African person thought that is a title, and we call ourselves Al-Hajj. So Al-Hajj doesn't really change anything so much in the life of a Muslim. Apart from that, he has fulfilled the 5th pillar of Islam. This is where there is misconception. An Imam or even a Malam is a bigger title than an Al-Hajj. Yes.
Now, Imam, we know so many young people are listening to you this moment. What word do you have for these young people?
Life is challenging, but when you start from day one, you should know where you are going to. If you have a focus, you will succeed. My focus in life was that I should be able to make it without even the assistance of anybody, but God being your helper. If you are committed and you listen to yourself, go back to yourself, a lot of people miss their tracks in life because they don't even know whom they are and what they can offer to the society. I want to think that if you take yourself down, God is going to raise you. And the fact that I understood where I was going to and I'm also able to achieve it, those are some of the principles that in life that the youth of today need to know, because they think that things are just easy. They can come around. First, I was a bread seller to sponsor myself in the primary section. Secondly, I got encountered, became Muslim and moved, did electronic repairs. Today even, I'm able to mentor university, not only the university lecturers who are Muslims. I give them a lot of assistance to them. I'm the chaplain in the University of Buea. And those children who have gone through my hands, they are very, very happy. They thank God that they made a man of my caliber who was able to make meaning in their lives, and today they are happy. In fact, one just called last week and was telling the other colleagues to inform them that if the Imam of Buea signs a document for you, know that you are a lucky person. I didn't know the use of that later on, say, when I was in the school in Medine, when I brandished this document and they raised to a status that I never even imagined, with all the certificates they had, but that paper made him a lot of meaning in his life. So I want to say that in life, be level-headed, but please be focused. Be focused and know what you are looking for in life. We are talking about emergence. This is how people should build their lives. If I were to die today, I know that I have made a name for myself, for my community, for my family. My parents are proud. They are happy that they ever allowed me to become Muslim. And even the chief of my village is very happy. Each time the year I'm coming is like a big king is coming. You know, the Muslim community who have taken Islam in the village now, they are so happy, they are proud, say they can take as an example for me. And because of my low level headedness, there is a young man who took Islam, same circumstances, and the parents refused. He was exiled from the village, you know, and the Imam and the chief there took him, paid his transport, sent him to me, and said, that's the only place you have refuge. Go to Boya, meet the Imam of Boya who will assist you. And you'll be very shocked to hear that the only candidate in Cameroon who succeeded in the Saudi Arabian king, that is university, for scholarship, came not only from Boya, but from my house. I taught him the Quran from small, sent him to Ngaoundere. He made 7 years, did his baccalaureate, came back, and he's memorizing the Quran. He even knows the Quran more than myself. And that's him. He's this year he had scholarship to go to Medine. The whole country, children who were born in Islam, they don't have that opportunity. God has raised him. But what is very important in life is that know who you are, know where you are going to, and it should be for the benefit of the society.
Imam Mohamed ABOUBAKAR, I want to thank you very much for being the personality on Profile Mount Cameroon FM.
My pleasure. I'm surprised that you thought about me. Of course, you've been my very good friend for a very long time. If you thought that it were necessary for us to contribute, I think let our youth learn something from this, and I want to thank especially those who made meaning to my life. And I will not go by not by thanking Pamunanga. He will not know. It's inside, and I pray for him, Mr. Elali. Then most especially Pamignoli, he saw in me what ordinary people did not see. Thank you so much.
Nathan Kaweb for the production, coordination, Leona Chatelain. I am David Mboa, Evele Cool.
Into the wind the children run, carrying your heads up high, wonder in your eyes, bright dreams of tomorrow, beautiful children of tomorrow's generation. In your eyes all is right, on your shoulders not a care, thinking that it's great to be alive in this world of wonder, beautiful children of tomorrow's generation.